Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. I know it's been a while, these reviews are going to be slow, but I'm going to try and get to all the Marvel Legends releases that I possibly can. But here we have the X-Men 2-pack of DEATHBIRD and Gladiator. This is in stock right now at BigBadToyStore.com. So link in the video description below if you're looking to pick up this 2-pack. It released way faster and quicker than I really thought it would. So it's kind of crazy that Big Bad Toy Store had sent out the email saying, hey, pre-order processing soon. And then they got it, and I got it shipped out. So here we have it. This is the third release, count it, third release of Gladiator. I do have both of them, although the first original release is in the Thanos Imperative box set, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I don't have that open. I have it. It's not open, so I'm not going to pull out that Gladiator figure in terms of comparison for this video, but I do have this one. This was the single release, which is basically the same. It doesn't have the metallic paint or anything like that, but it's basically the same figure as that first release. So we're going to see how he compares with that. This new one's going to be so much better because the Hyperion body mold was so bad, so bad. And then DEATHBIRD is going to be all new. I will do some other comparisons here. I've just got Lilandra and was it Warrior? Well, this Professor Charles Xavier. I think it was it Warrior? What was his name? Warlock. Jeez. Right? Warlord. Oh my god. My mind is not functioning, guys. So we'll do some comparisons there. But looking at the 2-pack, you got DEATHBIRD in there, and you've got Gladiator. Looks like DEATHBIRD actually doesn't have any accessories, but Gladiator has an extra set of hands, and then he has an extra head, which is cool. You got artwork on the back there, looking pretty cool of the two, and then here you get the other artwork there. And the bio reads, Gladiator heads the legions of Imperial Guard in a steadfast service to the Majestrix, a title sought by DEATHBIRD, who frequently plots to overthrow her sister, Lilandra Naramani, as ruler of the spacefaring Shi'ar Empire. I also can't read today. Can't read. So here we go. Let's take a look at this 2-pack. Okay, so here are the two figures out of the package. We have a couple of good ones here. There is some reuse with DEATHBIRD. She's got the same exact legs and feet that came from Lilandra, but the rest of her is new, which is awesome, and it has probably one of the best head sculpts that Hasbro has ever done for any figure ever, because it is absolutely amazing. When we get in for the closer look, you'll see what I'm talking about. And then Gladiator is going to be all new compared to the previous Hyperion body mold releases that we've gotten in the past, so it's nice to see a little bit of an update there. The body is just better proportioned and everything like that, so it's good all around. He does come with two head sculpts that are pretty good. The eye effects pieces on there are nice and soft, so they're not going to break or anything like that. So there is good stuff going on there. And then he does have a pair of extra hands. We have some fists. So we have kind of a grip hand for the left, and then a wide open hand for the right. And then we've got the fists on there, that extra head sculpt. The cape, however, is reused from the previous Gladiator figure that we've got. Not that that's a terrible thing, but if they're going to go the distance of giving us an all new figure, why not give us the cape? Although maybe it keeps the costs low. I don't really know. And then did we really need a third Gladiator figure? Probably not. But if that's how we got DEATHBIRD, then okay, so be it. But let's go ahead and get in for the closer look. We're going to start with DEATHBIRD because she looks absolutely amazing. Then we're going to finish off with Gladiator. Okay, so close-up of DEATHBIRD, and you could just see the head sculpt is absolutely amazing. You could see how the open mouth looks in there, and the way that they could do this, let me pop that head off, is typically they'll do a separate piece on the inside. So the mouthpiece is a separate piece in there to give it that layered look where her mouth is open. You can actually see some depth in there, which is pretty damn amazing how they did that in there. The teeth look nice and clean. The face paint on there, really, really, really well done. So that is awesome that we got there. And then she just has this nice purple color throughout. You kind of get that feathered look to her cape in there. Then the figure itself has some awesome things going on it. Like on her back, you can see how those hoses connect to her back in there, which is really cool, and they can kind of move around a little bit on there. She is double jointed at the elbows, double jointed at the knees, all fully pinless and everything like that. And again, as I previously mentioned, the legs are the same from the Lilandra figure. As you can see, they're the complete same in there. It's just, purple on purple versus black on silver in there. But that looks really good. She has the fingernails painted on those hands. Just all around looks really, really nice. Let's jump over to Gladiator. Okay, so here we have Gladiator, and he looks really good. We get two head sculpts on here. They are both new compared to the previous ones that we had gotten in the past. I will see if this old head can fit on there. I guess I might as well go ahead and try that now, because it's not that it's a different facial expression. I mean, it is, but you kind of get the whited out eyes. The skin tones do not match, as you kind of get a little bit of a brighter purple versus more of a darker purple kind of in the past. But there's no other skin showing except for his neck, so maybe it won't be an issue. But let's see if the old head does pop on there. And yeah, it does. And that kind of works. Again, the neck is not the same. So you could use it if that's what you wanted to. Then you could, let's see, people always want to see this stuff too, like the new one on the old body, which nobody should like the Hyperion body mold. That works, but again, the purples don't really match on there. So popping on this other head sculpt that we get in here, this is the one that's actually on the figure out of the package. This is kind of more of the straight face in there. The digital print on there came out looking really, really nice. I really, really like it. You do get some blue shading in the mohawk in there, which is nice. We also got that on the original release, although the shading, you can see, was done quite differently. It's just kind of streaks of blue in here, but here it's kind of like a gradient spray look to it, which I think looks a whole heck of a lot better. So two really nice head sculpts. And then here you can see how they have that separate piece in there for that open mouth look. And then again, these are quite rubbery and soft, which is good because you don't want those to like break or anything like that. So that looks really nice. Really nicely done there. And then looking at the rest of the figure, it's painted pretty nicely. The lines for the most part are clean over here on his left side, but when it comes to the right side, we do get a little bit of sloppiness in there, which is unfortunate. So it's something you do want to be aware of. And then the crazy thing is the belt is just completely painted. That's not an actual belt. There's no like belt loop in there, although that's the look I was going for. Looks a little bit funky. The cape itself is the same as, again, as I had mentioned. You can see it's just basically the same. It might flow a little bit differently, but it is the same exact cape. There's nothing really different to it. The reds are slightly different. The yellows are slightly different. I would say the paint is a little bit better on the new one compared to the old one, but it is the same exact cape in there. Looking at the rest of the figure, where the red and the blues meet, like this, the blue is painted on there. It's done clean. It's just really here on this chest on his right side where it really isn't clean, which does kind of suck a bit there. But yeah, that is Gladiator. So now let's go ahead and check out both of their articulations. All right, let's start with Gladiator since I already had him standing up. So his head, he can look all the way up. The head is on a disc hinge, ball hinge, so he can look all the way down, which is good. You get a little bit of pivot going on in that neck, not a whole lot, and then full rotation in there, of course. You get the arm, you can get the shoulder to go straight on out like so. You can do a full rotation at that arm, of course. You got the upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbow gives you that much bend there at the elbow. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on all four of the hands, the open hands, as well as the fists. You get an ab crunch, so you can crunch Gladiator forward that much there. He can lean back quite a ways there, but I guess the cape is going to be an issue in there unless you're doing some flight poses or something like that. Then it could kind of work in there. And then you do have the waist swivel. Legs go out that far apart there, not a huge amount. He can kick forward that far there. Leg doesn't really go back. You got an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there at the knee. You do have the calf swivel, boot swivel in there, so swivel mid calf. Foot hinges all the way down. You get some hinge up in there, ankle pivot, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So good articulation for Gladiator. The figure itself does feel a little bit stiff in some areas, but otherwise holds up pretty well. DEATHBIRD, on the other hand, the neck is a ball joint, dumbbell joint, so she can't look up a huge amount. She can look up somewhat, and then she can look down somewhat in there, and you get a full rotation in there. You do get some good neck pivot. The cape that she has on there, it is kind of glued down and keyed into the chest of the figure, so it's not something that you're really going to be able to remove. But this cape, the way it drapes over her left shoulder, really hinders the left shoulder quite a bit. The right you can get to go straight on out. You would not be able to do a full rotation because these hoses, while attached and glued into this gauntlet piece there on the arm and then attached to the back of the figure, that would prevent it from doing a full rotation, of course. And then getting the shoulder out on this side, you can only go out that much there. You do get the upper bicep swivel on both of the arms though, and a double jointed elbow that gives you that much bend there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on the two different hands that she comes with. We do not get extra hands for her, unfortunately. And then swivel at the wrist, if I didn't mention that. We do get the diaphragm cut on here, so you can get DEATHBIRD to tilt to her left that much there. It's not a whole lot. You can get her to tilt to her right that much there. Again, not a whole lot. Leaning back a little bit, but the cape does kind of hinder, and then coming forward is basically nothing at all. And then you get a swivel at that diaphragm in there. Legs go out that far apart, which is pretty good. She can kick forward that far, which is good. The leg doesn't really go back. You got the upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend at the knee, which is quite nice. Foot hinges down all the way. You get some hinge up there. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So it's pretty good articulation, but with most female figures, just unfortunately those diaphragm cuts just don't give the range that we would hope for. Okay, side-by-side comparisons. Here we have sisters Deathbird and Lilandra in there looking really good. You can see two very different capes, but again, share the same legs and everything. Deathbird just has a really, really cool look to her. I really like it. Okay, and here's the side-by-side comparison of the Gladiator figure. Again, there is a third one, which was the first release, which is that San Diego Comic-Con Thanos Imperative box set that I have, but I have not opened. But looking at the two, it's the same one as this. It's just different paint deco. We get a brighter blue this time around. The purple is a little bit lighter on the skin tone. It's just this one is so much better of a body proportion wise and articulate. Like everything about it is so much better than the Hyperion body mold that we got before, which is crazy. The fact that the cape was reused is kind of crazy, but not that big of a deal, in my opinion. You guys let me know what you guys think of it. The little logo here on his chest is outlined in black, which makes it stand out a little bit more. It looks better. A little actual design and the painted in belt there, which looks pretty good. So I think it's definitely an upgraded version all around. But, you know, did we need a third Gladiator figure? Maybe not. But again, Deathbird comes along with it, so maybe it was worth it to get it. And then the three of them with Lilandra in there. And then if we wanted to throw in like how Warlord looks with them, Charles Xavier, we could see how they all measure up there. Okay, so that is the X-Men 2-pack of Deathbird and Gladiator, all a part of the Shi'ar Empire, so the whole cosmic side of the X-Men. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this 2-pack? Is it one that you're looking to pick up? Did you need another Gladiator figure? You probably want the Deathbird, because she's the kind of the all-new and the first time we're getting that figure, and I think it came out really good. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching. Again, if you're looking to pick this up, link in the video description below, in stock at BigBadToyStore.com right now.